What is going on, guys? Mr. Banks coming back live with another trade recap. And as you guys can see, we hit a 138% banger on SPY to start our week. As you can see right here, 138% on SPY to start the week. And now I'm going to go over that trade so you guys can trade like me. Now, guys, I can't make this any more simple. If you watched my last video I put out on Friday, or I might put out Monday, but from Friday, December 23rd, on Friday, this line right here was drawn on Friday, did not draw it today. And look exactly where we bounced off. I mean, guys, if you watch my videos, I go over this over and over and over again. Trading is actually really fucking simple. It's simple. Support, resistance over and over and over. What do stocks do? My strategy, BBR, they will bounce on support. They will break through support or resistance, and they will reject a resistance, right? They will bounce on support, reject resistance, and then they'll either break through and then go ahead. If they're breaking through a resistance, they'll usually find that as support, right? It'll flip flop. So, guys, this is something you need to understand. Trading is actually very fucking simple. Support and resistance. All stocks do all the time is go find a support and go find a resistance. And they will either bounce, reject, or break through that. That's it. That's all they do. Three things. Keep that in your mind. Three things. All right. So what happened here today, as you could see, we took those calls. I mean, guys, this line was drawn literally from my last video on Friday, right? On Friday. How did I find this line? Guys, go watch it. It's how to trade price action. How did I find this line? Well, as you guys can see, let's go back to Thursday of last week. You guys can see that this was a very pivotal level. That was a major resistance level, right? So we came under, we broke this level, right? We broke this level, and look what happened. We dropped about, what was that, 5 points? We dropped 5 points, right? 5 points from this level. So guys, you can see that this was a major resistance level, right? A major resistance level once we broke under. And what happened once we broke back over this level, right? It turned into a major support level. You see that? It turned back into a major support. So a major resistance will turn into a major support. A major support will turn into a major resistance, right? Back and forth over and over and over again. That's all stocks do. So guys, I understand sometimes, especially for newer traders, it's harder for you guys to find support and resistances. But once that clicks, game over. That's all you need to know. It's all, you know, I mean, that's what you need to find, right? So major resistance, right? Drop 5 points from it on Thursday. Boom. Once we broke back over, what was the level that we super bounced off of? That same exact level. I mean, we come back down to pre-market. Look at this major bounce up, right? A 3-point bounce move up. This is a major resistance support level, right? So I drew this. This is last Friday. And you know, we took SPY calls here as well. I think these ran over 200%, but so this broke down and then broke out, right? So this, as you guys can see, when we took these calls here, when I took these calls on Friday, right? What was I looking at? This major support resistance flip, right? And we found it once we broke back up, we broke under, and once we broke back over and held, I took calls. So now let's go to today and see what happened. What do you know? Same line. It's the same line, guys. This line was drawn on Friday. And look exactly where we bounced off of. Now, guys, when you start getting good at drawing support and resistances like this, you'll see it'll be all like, it will come down and it will bounce literally on a line that you drew from last week, sometimes even weeks ago, right? Sometimes even weeks ago. Or you'll see that the stock will come up, and where will it find resistance? At a line you drew weeks ago, right? Stocks will literally bounce back and forth like this over and over and over again. If you're good at drawing support and resistances, you'll see that the stocks will literally bounce just like today, right off of the line you drew last week or 2 weeks ago or a month ago, right? So Why did I take this trade? Well, we knew, right, guys? We knew from last week that this 379, 63, 65 level was a major level, a major level, right? My levels don't lie, right? Women lie, men lie, levels don't lie. But take a look. We bounced. And then what happened once we got that bounce, right? A major wick. So what does this major wick tell us, right? We're getting these major wicks. Now we do have a little bit of green volume, a little buy volume, and then we have some sell volume. But look at this major bounce off of this major support resistance flip line, right? And what are these long wicks telling us, especially this one? Buyers stepped in massively, right? So wicks tell a story, right? The wicks tell a story. The buyers stepped in very massively here, stepped in very massively here. And then what happened after the buyers stepped in? We started getting buy volume, right? Volume started flipping green, starting to get buy volume. And once we came back up here, what happened? Right? Usually, if we get a major bounce back up, what's going to happen? We usually, if it's going to be a bearish trend day continuation, we're going to see that sell right off, right? We're going to see a major sell right off. But what happened? We got a nice little inverted hammer, right? Just like last week. Look what happened. Boom, bounce up, inverted hammer, ran up. So nice little inverted hammer. Those have been making a nice reversal candle for you to know that we're going to head higher, right? These have been proving true, right? Patterns. So we come back down, major wick off of this support, right? That we had from Thursday, drew on Friday, and it came down and touched it again, right? Since we broke back above this major level, what happened? We came back down, right? It was a resistance. And once we broke past that resistance and we came up, and now we're coming back down, right? So now that resistance, we want to see that turn support, right? It's a major level. And since we're above it, we want to now find that become support again. And what happened? We found that become support with major buyers stepping in, right? This long wick tells that story. Inverted hammer, we ran up. So we took calls right here, 138%. Now, let me talk about something else. Obviously, this is going to be my 10th year next year going into trading. So there's times where I will take the risk, right? I can see things, I see the patterns. I will take the risk, right? But for those newer to trading, how can you wait for a confirmation, a better confirmation for you to say, okay, I'm going to enter in calls here? Well, let's go back to Friday, right? Let's go back to Friday again, right? So major level, we broke down. So one thing that you can wait for to take calls, if you want, I guess, a better confirmation, is wait for the breakout, right? Wait for this level, right? We broke down to resistance. Wait to come back over this resistance and find it as support again, right? So wait for this little breakout. You guys can see here's the breakdown, right? Breakdown level. Now wait for it to break out, and you could take calls right here on the breakout. So let's go to today. Let's go to that level. What would be that level? Well, it would be literally right here, guys, right? Breakdown. And then you could have waited. Okay, I'm going to wait until it finds this level, right? Until it finds the breakout level again to take calls, and you would have banked, right? You would have absolutely banked on this. So another thing to keep in mind is the 8 EMA, 9 EMA, right? So I use the 8 EMA. These are good for trending, right? Good for trending. So we're trending down. What happened? We also crossed the 8 EMA. So what was, if you guys take a look here, right? 32%. Everyone now we're above the 8 EMA, right? Told the group that, right? So we're above the 8 EMA here, and we held and then headed higher, right? So we also had a trend flip. Since we used the 8 EMA, we use the 9 EMA, whichever one you prefer. I like the 8. A lot of people use the 9. And then what happened? We had that nice trend flip, right? The trend flipped back up over the 8 EMA. So showing me now a possible bullish trend flip. And we also have, you know, finding support at that same level, right? At that breakout level, right? So breakdown, breakout level. We're also coming above the 8 EMA. So this actually would have been more of the confirmation for you guys, especially for newer traders, to take calls at that position now, right? To take calls to, it's a good risk to reward situation right there. Obviously, I took it down here. Been seeing these patterns a while now. So obviously more high risk, but we had some buy volume coming in. But for newer traders, what I would probably suggest is to wait until you find this breakout, right? This now turn resistance, turn into support again, and then find that the breakout level turns into support and then take calls, especially with this 8 EMA flip, right? We came back over, found it as support. We found this breakout level, right? So drawdown and then breakout level, found it as support. So that's two things along with buying volume coming in, right? So that's now three things called price action that can give you that confirmation to take calls. And then look what happened up here, right? Major level. So this is finding it as support in the pre-market. And we'll look what happened. We've now found it as resistance, right? So you guys can see, here's one example of like when I talk about support and resistances, right? So we're finding this level as support, right? You could see this wick, big wick energy, right? Off of this right here, finding it as support, we broke under. And then look what happened. We came back up and found it as resistance, right, guys? And then we kept rejecting. So you could see that this was a major level that we were finding. And then take a look here. Here's another, guys, this is where trading gets simple. Once you see this and understand it, this is how trading becomes simple. Look what happens later in the day, right? So this breakdown and breakout, right? Support resistance flip. Look what happens later in the day. Trying to find as resistance, and then look, found it, right? Found it as support, came back down, and then look, found it as support and bounce. Found it as support and bounce. So this line is now, so now I'm going to make sure, it's around 381.20 that we can see now is now a major pivot point level, a support resistance flip level for me now. So going into tomorrow, guys, we can even see it in after hours, right? Do you guys see that? Do you guys understand the support resistance flip? Comment if you do understand that. This is, you could see it in early in the day, and look what happens. We came back over. This is a nice pivot level, right? Found it as support, broke down, found it as support, found it as support, trying to find it as support again, right? So you could see that this is now becoming a major level throughout the day, right? Throughout the intraday, and it'll probably become a major level going into next week, right? If we hold above it, it'll probably try to find it as support again. Or if we break below it, we'll probably find it as resistance, right? That support resistance flip. So going over a quick one, real quick again. Major level, drew this line last Friday. Why? Because it was a major support resistance flip, right? Found support. My breakout level here as well was resistance, and then found it as support again. And then look what happened today. Boom, came all the way down, found it as support. Big wick energy. Buyers are stepping in, right? Buyers are defending this level. Inverted hammer, nice reversal pattern, candlestick pattern. And then we had some buy volume coming in. That's why I took it. But for newer traders, again, we could have waited until this nice level right here, which was resistance. We broke our breakdown level. We now could have waited until we found support on this level again, right? Like we came up here and found it as support again, as well as the 8 EMA flip. So 8 EMA flipped. We're finding it as support, finding this level. We're breaking above that breakdown level, finding it as support, as well as the buy volume coming in. Boom, take calls, and you're banking. So guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope I'm making things a lot more simple for you, right? Remember, stocks only do three things: bounce, break, and reject. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. Until the next one, no price action, make trading simple, and let's bank.